In 1947, Albert Camus published his masterwork, The Plague. On the surface, it is a novel about a coastal town in Algeria that is suddenly overcome by a deadly pestilence. The town is sealed off. Its citizens are trapped, facing a random, meaningless, and terrifying death. But the novel is not really about a disease. It is a grand allegory for the human condition. The plague is the absurd, made manifest. It is the sudden, irrational intrusion of suffering and death into the orderly lives of men and women. The town of Oran is the world, and its citizens are us. Welcome back to the Rebel's Atlas. Today, we explore one of the most important and moving developments in Camus' thought, the architecture of solidarity. Having established the individual's path of revolt, Camus now asks, what do we do together? In a world without God, what is our moral compass? His answer is found in the simple, decent, and heroic actions of the characters in The Plague. At the beginning of The Plague, the citizens react as individuals. They are concerned with their own personal fate, their own loved ones, their own separation and suffering. Theirs is a solitary struggle. But as the plague rages on, a shift occurs. The main character, Dr. Rieu, continues to treat the sick day after day, not out of any grand hope of defeating the plague, but out of a simple sense of decency. He says, "There's no question of heroism in all this. It's a matter of common decency, a matter of doing my job." Another character, Tarot, an outsider, decides to organize sanitary squads of volunteers to fight the plague. When asked why, he says he is fighting against the terror of a world where children are tortured and killed by a meaningless disease. He is choosing a side. This is the birth of solidarity. It is the recognition that while we may be individuals, we are all trapped in the same absurd predicament. The plague, the absurd, threatens us all equally, and in this shared vulnerability, we discover our common humanity. This is a profound evolution of the inner vision architecture. The detection is no longer just of my own absurd condition, but of our absurd condition. The filtering system begins to change. The filter of my personal survival is replaced by, or at least supplemented with, the filter of our collective struggle. The I of the individual rebel evolves into the we of the community in revolt. Camus argues that this solidarity is the only authentic source of value in an absurd world. We cannot find meaning in a divine plan, but we can create meaning in our commitment to one another. The doctor's act of tending to the sick, the volunteer's act of cleaning the hospital, these actions are, in themselves, meaningless in the face of the vast, unbeatable plague. But in the human context, they are infused with profound meaning. They are acts of love. They are acts of rebellion. They are a declaration that, even if the universe is indifferent, we are not. We will not be indifferent to each other's suffering. This is a secular form of grace. It is a morality that is not handed down from on high, but is created moment by moment in the compassionate response to the person in front of you. The characters in The Plague are not saints. They are flawed, frightened human beings. But they find their honor and their meaning in choosing to fight the plague together, even without hope of ultimate victory. The understanding they reach is not an understanding of why the plague happened. That question is never answered. It is the understanding that in the face of our shared fate, the only dignified response is to be on the side of the suffering, to fight the terror, to be a healer in a world of sickness. This provides a powerful answer to the question of what the absurd hero lives for. Having recognized their own freedom, they choose to use that freedom to reduce the suffering of others. They live for the love of men. The practice here moves from introspection to action. It is the practice of turning your lucid awareness outward. It is to look at the world around you and ask, where's the plague? Where's the suffering? Where's the injustice? And then, to ask the most important question. What is my job here? What small, decent act of rebellion can I perform today? You may not be able to stop the plague, but you can choose to be a doctor, not another victim. You can choose to bring a moment of comfort, a touch of compassion, a small act of defiance against the terror. And in these small, seemingly futile acts, a profound and unshakable meaning is born. In our next episode, we will explore the challenge of living this authentic, rebellious life within a society that often demands conformity. We will discuss Camus' novel, The Stranger, and the architecture of an authentic and often alienated self. For now, the question is this: what is the plague in your world? And what is one small, decent act you can take to fight it? Not out of hope for victory, but simply as a matter of doing your job as a human being.